Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ionut Adrian LAZAR, and today I will present my paper with name Financial EKG of an Entity, Behavior and Performance under Conditions of Uncertainty, together with my colleagues and my teacher, Andreea-Roxana and Gabriela-Mihaela MURESAN. Here we have a short table of content with principal bullet points, which I will present in the next few minutes. And to start, we can say that in a never-changing economy, mere numbers and balance sheets cannot fully capture a company's financial health. Our study introduced a financial EKG model rooted in financial theory, the behavioral economics, and ethical analysis that combines both quantitative and qualitative factors. Much like an electrocardiogram tracks a heartbeat, this approach continuously monitors the rhythm of financial and ethical decisions, enabling real-time detection of potential issues and helping to prevent financial collapse. This choice of this research topic was influenced by a series of personal and organizational factors, and the academic learning context shaped the interest in the topic of financial performance. Moreover, its correlation with the psychological and ethical aspects of employees in the financial accounting sector is a niche that has not yet been sufficiently explored in the specialized literature, and the conditions of uncertainty in recent years in the Romanian economic environment have led to this more in-depth research. Regarding the specialized literature, I start with the study of De Kremer and Moore from 2020, and we can say that the concept of behavioral ethics was introduced into academic literature to emphasize that not all unethical behaviors are deliberate and conscious. Of course, regarding the Daniel David study, the Romanian people can be described by a vertical collectivism, accompanied by a low distribution of power, which leads to the fact that every individual, regardless of their social rank, tries to obtain the power. Of course, we have the study of Kahneman and Tversky, prospect theory. This theoretical framework has been used in multiple research studies that have demonstrated that the individuals, including financial and accounting specialists, are prone to making suboptimal or even unethical decisions, especially under conditions of economic stress. Of course, Saha et al. Study demonstrates that employees' perception of the ethical climate and corporate social responsibility improves their job satisfaction and ultimately the overall performance of the organization. Of course, the study of Hakim and Borlea is the one of the first national studies that attempt to clarify the role of corporate governance by introducing the concept of extra financial analysis and evaluating Romanian companies based on environment, social, and governance ESG performance. Of course, within this project, several hypotheses were tested regarding the relationship between ethical behavior of employees and the financial performance of the economic entity. The research aims to explore how factors such as organizational climate, economic pressures, and ethical decisions influence financial stability and health at the micro level. The hypotheses developed were based on both relevant quantitative data and robust qualitative analysis in order to provide a complete perspective on the financial EKG of an economic entity. To move on, we have the analysis of liquidity. We can say that throughout the analyzed period, the current liquidity ratio stayed outside the recommended 150%, 250% range. It reached over 300% in 2019, indicating an excess of current assets, but then fell below 115% from 2020 to 2023 as current liabilities surged. The immediate liquidity ratio exceeded its upper limit in 2019, but steadily declined, reaching 50% in 2023, still within the optimal band in the last 4 years. The effective liquidity ratio was around 90% in 2019, but dropped dramatically to 10% in 2021, reflecting potential cash flow management issues. Overall, from 2020 onwards, covering current liabilities with current assets has become increasingly difficult. To address this, the company should focus on working capital and improving both current and effective liquidity ratios. Regarding the return, during the analyzed period, both ROE and ROA trended upward until 2022, reflecting efficient resource management and competitiveness. However, ROE was driven more by financial leverage than by ROA, given that asset turnover steadily declined from 2019 to 2022. The net profit margin rate helped maintain ROA's upward trend, but a sharp decrease in 2023 pulled both ROA and ROE to their lowest points in this analysis. Overall, the strong profitability trends prior to 2023 suggest a financially healthy company with solid growth potential. Through the recent declines raise concerns for stakeholders. Regarding the bankruptcy risk, we can say that the evolution of the RoboMilionug Z score also shows downward trend for the period 2019-2023. But despite this, the value of this score fell within the safety interval 0.6 to 0.5, specific to companies with a low risk of bankruptcy until 2022. However, the score value recorded in 2023 should raise some questions for the company's management because it falls within the interval 0.6, specific to companies with a moderate risk of bankruptcy, being in the so-called gray area. And if the situation continues in the same manner, there is a possibility that in the next period, the company will become uncertain about the risk of bankruptcy. And in the final, according to Brown and Clark, thematic analysis is a highly flexible method for various theoretical approaches, allowing researchers to adapt it to their specific needs. It is also relatively quick and accessible, even for those with limited qualitative research experience, and can effectively summarize essential features of large datasets while providing detailed descriptions. In our study, we used the questionnaire with both socio-demographic items and open-ended questions focused on financial accounting themes, prompting participants to offer in-depth responses. This approach often uncovers unexpected insights, which can be crucial for guiding future research. In addition to simplifying the text code, which was expected to be a problem due to its complexity, but also in addition to other proposals specific to the company's sector of activity, which negatively affect employees and management, a very interesting issue is that the company doesn't have a separate internal control department, according to the latest reports. So this should be seriously considered by the board of directors, since as can be seen, employees feel the need to add such a concept, even if sometimes it's more difficult for their opinion to be heard in public. At the same time, somewhat more recent ideas were also mentioned, such as the implementation of more advanced technological solutions, especially e-invoices, but about which there is not yet enough information to attest that the solution is a true one for the future. And in the final, the research largely confirms the previous results that have been presented regarding the importance of a balanced financial structure and good corporate governance for the long-term success of a company. Of course, the study also presents some limitation that must be mentioned. First of all, the analysis is based on financial statements for a relatively short period of time, only 5 years, which may limit the ability to detect certain long-term patterns. especially since this period that we analyzed was a more special one, caused by the outbreak of the global health crisis, in which many Romanian companies suffered in terms of their most important financial results. Also, the data used are specific to a single company, which clearly reduced the generalizability of the conclusions for the entire sector of activity, for example. However, we believe that this study represents an important starting point in the search for the answer to one of the most debated questions of recent times. Is there still moral integrity among employees given the ongoing context of development and innovation? Thank you very much for your attention.